Chapter 1. The waters of destiny in the small, mist-clad town of Swansea, where the river met the sea, there was once a pup unlike any other, born under a silver crescent moon, with the tide whispering secrets to the sand. The little black dog opened his eyes to the world. His coat shimmered like wet midnight, and his gaze was steady, knowing, even as a pup. Some thought him a Labrador retriever. Others, noting his proud build and strength, swore he had the blood of a Newfoundland. But to those who met him, none of that mattered. He was simply Jack, Swansea Jack, a soul stitched to the heartbeat of the river. The river was not kind. It churned and boiled with sudden storms and hidden currents, and over time, it took more than it gave. But something in Jack drew him to the water, not out of fear, but something closer to love. From the very beginning, Swansea Jack was destined to meet the river, not as a victim, but as its silent keeper. Chapter 2. A cry in the current. It was in the summer of 1931, when Jack was scarcely more than a year old, that destiny came for him. The sun was lazy overhead, and children played along the docks, their laughter carried on the salt-heavy breeze. Suddenly, a sharp cry cut the air. A boy, no more than 8 years old, had slipped from the edge and disappeared beneath the roiling water. Onlookers screamed, but froze. Fear has a way of rooting men to the spot. Not Jack. Without a bark or hesitation, he lunged. His powerful muscles carved the air as he dove into the river, vanishing beneath the gray, silted waves. Time slowed. Hearts pounded. Moments later, Jack surfaced, his jaws gripping the boy's jacket tenderly. He paddled fiercely, carrying the child to the shore, where trembling hands reached out to pull them both to safety. The boy lived, and Swansea whispered that night. A black dog had challenged the river and won. Chapter 3. The legend awakens. News traveled fast in those days, even without phones and cameras everywhere. Down the cobbled streets and smoky taverns, people spoke in low, awed voices of the black angel of the river. Jack's fame grew, but the dog himself remained unchanged. He continued to patrol the docks and riverbanks, his paws leaving silent tracks in the mud. To Jack, the world was simple. Where there was danger, there must be rescue. Again and again, the river tried to take life, and again, Jack refused to allow it. He saved a fisherman who had fallen from his boat during a squall, a young woman caught in the freezing undertow, an elderly man who had slipped from the bridge on a rainy night. By the time he had pulled his 10th soul from the clutching river, the people no longer called him Jack. They called him something more, the Swansea God. Chapter 4. The Silver Cup. It was not long before word of Swansea Jack reached the great city of London. The mayor himself sent a letter, written in fine, looping script, inviting Jack and his humble owner to the city. There, under the chandeliers and applause of 1,000 strangers, Jack was awarded the Silver Cup for bravery, a gleaming, precious thing engraved with his name. Cameras flashed, men tipped their hats, and women wiped tears from their eyes. But amidst all the grandeur, Jack remained still and dignified, his soft eyes searching always for the smell of the river, the sound of water. For fame meant nothing to the Swansea God. Only the lives saved mattered. When he returned to Swansea, a statue was erected near the very spot where he had made his first rescue. A black dog cast in bronze, standing eternally vigilant over the waters. Chapter 5. The quiet battles as the years turned, the world darkened. The mid-30s brought hardship, poverty, hunger, a growing shadow of war looming beyond the hills. Jack grew older. His once boundless strength began to wane, though his spirit did not. He still patrolled the riverbanks, still listening for that telltale splash, the panic cry. His fur was speckled with gray now. His gait was slower, but his heart was as fierce as ever. One cold winter's night, with snow licking the stones, Jack saved his 25th soul. A young sailor too drunk to know how close he was to death. Jack dragged him from the icy river, his own body trembling with effort. It would be one of Jack's final rescues. The Swansea God was growing weary, but he gave no sign of surrender. Chapter 6. The last rescue, it was during the bitter spring of 1937 that Jack made his last and perhaps greatest sacrifice. A group of boys were playing too close to the edge when one slipped, then another, and then another, each trying to help the last. The river roared, greedy and merciless. Jack, old and aching, did what he had always done. He hurled himself into the freezing depths. One by one, he pulled them to safety, even as his own strength faltered. His muscles cramped, his breaths came shallow, but he did not stop. By the time the last boy was safe on the muddy shore, Jack could not lift his head. The river, the cruel and beloved river, had finally taken its toll. Jack was carried home, wrapped in the arms of the people he had saved, and those who owed him their very breath. Chapter 7. A town in mourning, the bells of Swansea tolled low and mournful the day Jack passed. Fishermen wept openly. Children left flowers at the foot of his statue. Elderly women, who had once prayed over the river's victims, lit candles in their windows. They buried him near the river, where the tides could sing to him forever. His grave was marked simply, Swansea Jack, true friend and savior of 27 souls. 1930 to 1937. He had no family of his own, but the town of Swansea had always been his, and they mourned him as one mourns a king. Chapter 8. Eternal watcher today, the river still flows, wild and beautiful. The statue of Swansea Jack still stands, though its bronze has weathered with the years. Children still hear the stories, told in hushed, reverent voices, of the black dog who faced the river's wrath and won again and again. Some say that on misty mornings, if you listen closely near the banks, you can hear the soft splash of unseen paws. You can feel the warmth of eyes that watch from just beyond the fog. The Swansea god is long gone, but he never truly left, because bravery like his, pure and selfless, echoes louder than any storm, stronger than any tide. And always, always, the river remembers. Chapter 9. The river's curse long before Jack came to guard it. The Swansea River had another name whispered by the fishermen, the Drowned Road. For every year, it seemed to claim its tribute, a sailor, a child, a worker in the mist. Some said it was cursed. Some said it was just the way of wild waters. But when Jack came, the curse weakened. The river's hunger was denied again and again by the teeth and courage of one dog. The people began to believe, almost superstitiously, that as long as Jack lived, the river would be tamed. That belief was not wrong, but nothing, not even Jack, could hold back the river forever. Chapter 10. The keeper of souls. When Jack saved a life, it wasn't just a rescue. It was an exchange, a life given back when the river had already taken it, a soul carried from darkness into light by jaws that never hurt, only held. 27 souls, 27 lights that would have been snuffed out, 27 lives to love, to lose, to live. Jack was no ordinary dog. He was a bridge between what is lost and what is saved, a keeper of souls. Chapter 11. The legacy in the missed generations have come and gone. Children who were once saved by Jack grew old, had children of their own. Stories were told by crackling fires, passed like sacred heirlooms, of the black dog who defied death, of the river that grew gentler in his presence.